the mental health stuff.
Yeah, man. That's big.
That's where the restorative circles and all that, like suspensions and stuff, man, that stuff don't work.
Yeah.
Which all you doing is giving them a vacation and giving teachers a vacation from them.
Right.
But nobody's made better. The young person ain't made better from it.
Right.
My thing is always you better off being here with us wrapping our arms around you than you being on the street kicking in somebody's door.
No question. I read something, man, it said oftentimes in life we often know what we're against. But when we get on the mission and the journey, I think some of the things that made some of the greatest movements that we've seen as people so effective, it wasn't just that they knew what they were up against, they knew what they were fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when we attack things, people know what they're against, but what they lose sight of is, man, what are we really fighting for?
Inky Johnson, Oak, going for the championship, that ain't coming close. This might require taking notes, homie, listen close. Serendipity when you know you the one who chose. We going past the end zone, crushing every goal. I feel it in my enzymes, in my chromosomes. If you ain't come outside to go hard, then go back home. I'm in my zone, if it ain't great, it's a better left alone. This for the world, put what we speaking on speakerphone. Yeah, Wills, let them know what we be on. Serendipity, man, tune in.
What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of Serendipity. I'm Inky Johnson here with my brother.
I'm Oak. What's happening, good people? Glad to be here with you, boss. What's happening, man?
Likewise. How you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling good. I'm on one today.
Yeah.
I
feel it. I'm picking that up, man. Energy.
Yeah. You know, we just got finished talking about it, literally. Yeah. But that's what's up, man.
No doubt, man. You know, man, it's so dope, man. I got a text today. I'm gonna read it, man. It was so dope. Oh, just in the middle of the day, man, I'm rolling, doing my thing. One of my buddies, I ain't gonna put his name out there, but one of my buddies from Cali, man, he hit me and he just said, thank you. Right? He just texted me out of the blue, thank you. And so I said, great to hear from you, my brother. He was like, yeah, man, it was a rough day. He said, one of them videos from the podcast got me through. He said, I needed to tell you that I appreciate it and I'm grateful. Glory to God. I said, that means a lot, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to Simone prior to just about the work that we do as a unit, as a group. And she was like, man, the thing I love about just being a part of this is like, it's meaningful work and it's impacting people on a real level. And I was like, no doubt, man, no doubt. And so that's a great feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a great feeling, man.
I concur. You know, I get, and I have these conversations with a few of our listeners and viewers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And gotten to know a couple of them very closely in terms of just what's going on in their life, day to day, and what they're doing. Like it's a lot of people out here that are doing some great work.
Absolutely, for sure.
And if you watch the news or you watch, you know, certain type of algorithms, you wouldn't know it. But it's a lot of good energy out here in the world.
No doubt, man.
And that's the part I appreciate, because those are the ones that's really picking up what we're putting down, and we picking up what they putting down.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
So again, I'm grateful for the opportunity to just share, and I'm really grateful that the universe and the creator is showing us that nothing that you do is in vain.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Nothing that you do is in vain, whether that's good or bad, but it's not in vain, meaning there is some ripple effect of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And what we're doing here, you know, hopefully that it continues to resonate with people.
No doubt. Picking that up, man. Gonna get into it, baby, with this quote card. And it reads, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. George Bernard Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them.
What school I went to?
Talk about it. D. Clark Atlanta University.
We find a way to make one.
There it is.
Period, point blank. It's as plain as grits. You find a way to make one.
Yeah, man.
And when I hear that, that's the first thing that came to my mind. But it's about a mindset.
Yes,
Your mindset dictates your actions. And then your actions create circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And then those circumstances dictate and create results, whether good or bad.
Yes, sir.
That's the process of the matter.
No doubt.
Yeah, it starts with your mindset.
Yeah.
If I wake up and understand that I'm going to have a great day, I'm going to have a great day.
Yeah.
Because I've decided to. I have no control over the circumstances that are going to come my way, but I have all the control over how I respond to those circumstances. So the circumstances, we were talking earlier, the circumstances are is the tail of the dog.
Teach.
Right?
Teach.
Your ability and your willingness to shape and shift your perspective is the nose of the dog. So is the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog?
Picking that up.
So you want to make sure that you're always wagging the tail. Your circumstances is the backside of anything. The front side of it is the way in which you respond to it, the way in which you perceive it, your perception, your perspective. Yeah. All of that is the most powerful thing because those are the things that you can control.
Absolutely.
The things that you can't control are not powerful. They're not meaningful. The things that you can control are the most meaningful and powerful things that you have at your disposal.
Picking that up, bro. Man, when it says people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are, I always think, man, the moment you blame, you dilute your power, right? Like the moment you start blaming in any situation, in any circumstance. But if I could be honest and I could be real with you, your reality will very rarely match your vision, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to accomplish, right? What you're trying to pursue. Your reality, right, will very rarely match that. Like when I was a kid coming up, 2-bedroom home, 14 people, wanted to be the first one in my family to go to college. My reality didn't match. Like if somebody would have looked at my journey, where I was from, my household, they'd have said, probably slim to none. My reality didn't match it, right? But I didn't blame my circumstances. I used my circumstances as fuel to propel me for where I was trying to go, right? Like your reality, what you're trying to accomplish, like it very rarely matches the vision, the aspiration, and what you're trying. That's why faith is so important, right? That's why mindset is so important. That's why cultivating certain beliefs are so important, right? The moment you blame, you dilute your power, right? But more importantly, do you have the capacity for the circumstances that you're trying to create? Like, do you have the capacity for it, right? The things that you want, the things that you seek to have. Like, do you got the capacity for it, right? Because oftentimes it's not about what you're trying to accomplish, right? That's great, that's cute, that's fun, right? But with what you're trying to accomplish in terms of your circumstances, what if you get that and it destroys who you are? You understand? Like, what if you acquire it and it destroys everything who you, that's why it's so important when it says, what profits a man to gain the whole world, but yeah, he loses so, what if you get the circumstances you wish and you aspire to have, but it destroys who you are as an individual. So do you have the capacity for the things you seek and aspire and want to accomplish, right? But don't blame, man.
No.
Don't blame.
And it's two things you said right there, Ink. I'll start with the latter one. Do you have the capacity?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we increase our capacity?
Mm-hmm.
That becomes the question, right?
Talk about it.
How do anyone, how do you increase your capacity? And you increase your capacity by reflection. You increase your capacity by being inquisitive.
Teach, yo.
You increase your capacity by leaning into intellectualism, like learning and understanding all of the moments that's in your life, or trying to, pressing to. But most importantly, we're going to say it and we're going to keep saying it. You increase your capacity by leaning into your character.
Yes, indeed. Picking that up.
That's why when you get the things that you desire in life, if your character is in place, if your character has been established strong enough, then whatever comes your way, you can withstand it. You won't lose yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? So our vision, our wants, and our desires gotta match our capacity. How do you increase your capacity? Work. Your work ethic.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
If I'm a hooper and I'm hooping, boom, and I'm great at it.
Right.
But if I don't have a work ethic, then when I get to the place where my work ethic is called for, then I'm going to lose myself. Yeah, I'm going to lose. I'm going to fall out of the league, whatever, however, I'm going to fall by the wayside. Then now that's when blame comes in.
Yeah.
Man, them folks wouldn't getting me a chance. But I see it all the time with young cats. Like, oh, coach didn't even give me a chance to even try out for the team. Why? Because you're in trouble all the time.
Talk about it.
Right? Or I got a chance to try out, but I didn't make the team. Why? Because when the last time you hooped? When the last time you went to practice? On your own.
Pick it up, man. Facts.
This is one that kills me.
Yeah.
When the students say that teacher gave me an F, they always say they gave me an F and I got an A.
Yeah, they gave me an F and I got an A.
Meaning you take the credit
you take
when it falls your way and you shoot the blame when it doesn't.
Ooh, yeah. Pick it up, baby.
Listen to the words.
Pick it up.
They gave me an F.
They gave me an F.
Right? Even with parents. And they up there messing with my child. They always picking on my child.
With your child.
Right.
Right.
But then your child is valedictorian. Your child making the honor roll. Man, my child made the honor roll. Right?
Yeah.
But they suspended my child. No, my child got suspended because they did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And my child got an A because they did X, Y, and Z.
Talk about it.
So blame goes out the door.
Talk about it, Doc.
You feel me? Blame goes out the door. You got to own your roses and you got to own your shit. Excuse my language. You got to own both of them.
There it is. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm with you. I'm picking that all the way up, man.
Think about I want that to sit for a minute. Think about the language that we are and we've been programmed to use. Right?
Yeah.
They always messing with me.
Yeah.
And then you don't ever say, well, I was messing with such and such the other day. Yeah. So when they get in trouble, it'll be such and such was messing with me. They were bullying me. But you, the same person that when it's your turn to mess with somebody, you don't own the fact that, I was messing with them. I was bullying them. I was picking on them.
Yes, sir.
And we do it even as adults. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
The second thing I wanted to talk about was when you were talking about reality, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that chaps my hind parts, I need to buy a whole case of chapstick just to chap my asymptote, just to get it unchapped, is when people say perception is reality. That is the biggest, it's not a misnomer and it may be true.
Yeah.
But that truism goes down the road of blame, judgment, negativity. Your perception is not your reality. Your perspective is your reality.
There you go. There you go. Pick that up. Pick that up. Pick that up.
When you were there in Kirkwood, you either had a decision to make. Am I going to follow my perception or am I going to follow my perspective?
Pick it up.
And the perspectives that you were given from different places, from different people, from different experiences, and you're like, oh, okay, I got this perspective here, I got that perspective there. That drives your reality.
Absolutely.
Because that drives your reality. Perception is what other folks think about you.
Absolutely.
Ain't nobody caring about nobody else.
Absolutely.
Because everything in life is a you issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's you. Period, point blank. Now, I said it harshly, but if we were to really break it down, if you think about it, everything in your life, you have the power to do whatever you want to do. You have the power to respond however you want to respond. You have the power to initiate whatever you want to initiate. It's your choice. You can choose to be to blame.
Mm-hmm.
That's a you issue too. You can choose to own it. That's a you issue too. You can choose to make the A in class or you can choose to make the F in class. Guess what? It's still a you issue.
Believe that. Believe that.
It's your perspective.
Believe that.
It's not the perception. It's not your perception. It's not nobody else's perception. Reality is your perspective, not your perception. Yes. Right.
I love it, man. I love it. I always say perspective drives performance.
Mm-hmm.
How you view what you do will always affect how you do what you do, right?
Yep.
We got perception, external, right? We got perspective, internal.
Yep.
In sports, I say to people often, you got standard and you got expectation, two words that are used a lot in sports. And I say to people often, expectations, that's external.
Yep.
That's what other people expect of you, right? Standard, that's personal, right? That's between me, my quest to try to get better every single day. But I wanted to touch on something, man, because you got people that are skilled, talented, great, abilities through the roof. I'm talking about can do it in a lot of different areas and aspects of life. But it's like what we always say, man, if you're not careful, your talent, your skill set, and your abilities can ascend you to a place that your character can't sustain you. That's why perspective is so important. How I view what I do affects how I do what I do, right? That's why, like, standard is so important. Not expectation. That's what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
My standard is internal. That's what I expect. That's what I hold myself to every single day. I was telling Oak, my daughter, she's a very respectful young lady. Like, she goes somewhere, she gonna say please to people, yes, please, or thank you. Like, she's a very respectful, just young lady, right? And she said to me and my wife the other day, like, people don't always like say thank you, or when you do something for people don't always respond. Like, when you say certain things and you're being respectful, people don't always do that. And we had to tell her in life, like, you do things and you say things and you guide yourself the way you guide yourself, and you handle situations and circumstances and address people and do things because that's who you are.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Not because
Come on.
what other people do, what other people think, how other people respond. You do and you treat people a certain way because that's who you are as an individual, and that's what you subscribe to in terms of your thought process, and that's how you're being raised. It's not predicated upon what somebody else may do, say, think, or how they may respond. I'm gonna treat you a certain way because this is what I'm guided by. This is how I operate. This is how I live my life. I'm not gonna do things because it's what another individual may think, it's what somebody else may expect. No, I'm gonna do what I've been raised to do. I'm gonna act how I've been raised and cultivated to act. Like, I'm gonna do things in such a fashion because this is what I stand on, this is what I'm guided by, and this is what I believe in.
Yeah, I when you told me about that, and I was like, I knew what you and Allison were going to tell her even before you told her, because that's what we've been standing on for 25 years.
No question.
Right. The thing for me is what we're talking about here is conviction.
Mm-hmm.
Your conviction. What are you convicted by? What's your constitution? What are you made up by? And what is your countenance?
Yes, sir.
How do you look when you're doing it?
Teach,
right?
yo.
Those 3 C's, right?
Teach.
One of the other things that chaps my behind is when folks say, you made me, they made me. Somebody made me do that. Meaning, Jada could have said, thank you, appreciate it, or whatever, and didn't get the response that she might have been looking for.
Right.
And acted in a certain way. And then y'all chastise her.
Right.
And if the first thing to come out of her mouth, well, she made me do it because she didn't respond to my thank you. She didn't say you welcome.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So now we're going back down this blame game road because that person, whoever that person is not standing. What they stand on business? Ain't that what the young folks say today?
They say, oh, that's what they say.
Well, let me tell you what standing on business is.
Talk about it.
Your conviction, your constitution, and your countenance.
Teach.
That's what standing on business is.
Teach, Doc.
Again, your conviction. What is it that you believe, regardless of however, whoever, and whatever comes your way?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Your constitution, who you are as a person, and your countenance, how you look when you're doing it.
Teach. Teach, Doc. Teach.
And if we can keep those things, like just those three simple things, like how's my countenance right now?
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of controversy, in the midst of trials and tribulations, how's my constitution? Am I still connected to my constitution? Right? And where's my conviction? Am I moved by this situation, or do I still believe in what I believe in?
Mm. Yes, sir.
And when we stand on that level of business, then we're not in the blame game. We're not in the, oh, somebody made me do something, or I did this because they did that.
Mm.
Right? Those are expectations, as you're saying. What's your standard?
What's your standard?
Your standard is your conviction, your constitution, and your countenance.
Yes, indeed, Doc. Picking that up, man. I wrote something down, right? It say, I don't know if you can see it. It say Gatorade bottle. Gatorade bottle, right? I shared a story with a team, Oak, to where they was talking to me before they entered the room. They was talking to me about, yeah, Ink, we gonna do this. And I'm just dapping them up. You know, we go to a place and I'm just dapping them up. What's up, fellas? What's going on, man? Yeah. And they telling me, I'm like, what y'all gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just shooting the Willie Bobo, pitching and catching, back and forth, you know, picking up what they putting down, picking up what I'm putting down, you know what I'm saying? And so cats are saying like, Ink, I'm finna get busy. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And all the while they're talking, it's a Gatorade bottle on the floor in their facility. That while they're speaking to me, dapping me up, talking, they're stepping over the Gatorade bottle and walking into the room. Everyone walked into the room. So I picked it up. I walked into the room. I'm like, man, how you gonna be a champion? You can't even pick up a Gatorade bottle. Like, how you gonna be great? You can't even pick up a Gatorade. Like, you saw it. I know you seen it. I looked at you step up. You had to see it because you stepped up. Like, how you gonna be great and you can't pick up a Gatorade bottle in your facility? What's the lesson in it? How you do small things is how you do all things. It ain't about a Gatorade bottle. How you do anything is how you do what's the lesson in it? Right? What's the details? How do you value certain things? It's in your facility. Right? If I can't trust you to pick up a Gatorade bottle, how can I trust you to be a champion? How can I trust you to be great?
How can I trust you to get to the flats?
How can I
trust you to hold the edge, man?
Bruh. Talk to
the little things. You just got to set the edge.
Come on, man.
And that one play right there go for 6 because you didn't pick up the Gatorade bottle and you didn't attack the tackle with your inside shoulder and keep you outside free. Come on, bruh.
Come on, man. Come on. Standard. Standard. You could have easily. Now, let's say this. You probably didn't even put it there. Right? It's like when they say, when a person says, it's not your fault that it happened, but it's your responsibility to heal from it. Right? You didn't put it there. It wasn't your fault, but it was your responsibility to pick it up if you say you're a champion because it's in your facility. The place where you reside and where you go to work. You understand? That's standard. Come on.
Okay. Man, you're going to have to go get some chapstick in a minute. Because another thing that chaps my behind, like for real, when somebody say that ain't mine. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. That ain't mine.
But when I tell you that, you see this here? You see all the gray hair? That come from...
You still spinning up there. Oak been spinning for a long time up there now.
That comes from raising 6, 7 kids and in the kitchen. Hey man, go wash them dishes right there. That I ain't do it. That ain't mine.
Sure enough.
It take a whole lot in me not to just go absolutely berserk.
Sure enough. Oh, said berserk.
I mean, I'm for real, bro.
Berserk.
Like, and I do it too. What I mean by I do it too is I expect that from adults.
Right.
I get mad when they say, I ain't put that there. You did that. Because the thing is, you don't know how many times people cover your back
Believe
when
that.
you don't understand it, you don't know it, and you don't see it.
Yeah, man. Picking that up.
So when you start going tit for tat, we're not living by a standard. We're living by expectation. The standard is, yes, okay, I may walk down and see some dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
And I may be third day hot about it.
Yeah.
Am I third day hot enough to go wash the dishes or not? But I don't ever think that it's somebody else's responsibility to wash the dishes.
Right.
If I'm gonna keep walking in the kitchen, then it's my responsibility to wash the dishes, whether I made the mess or not.
Right on. Yeah, you about to get some people in trouble now.
I'm about to get myself in trouble because I'm like, hey, and now the thing that, the particulars of it is, I may not wash them right then, but I've already taken on the responsibility of washing those dishes because they're in the sink.
Right.
And I didn't put them there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask nobody else to come. I learned that. That just...
who doesn't? You already know where that finna go.
Right. Everybody finna start saying, telling lies and stuff.
Yeah, man.
I learned a long time ago. I stopped asking people questions because you ain't got a lie to me. Just make it sound fly to me.
Don't do it.
Right. If I don't
That's
ask
what
you
they say in the song. What CeeLo say?
Lie to me. Don't
you
make
want to hear the truth, so I'm going to lie to you. Make it sound fly to you. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't ask people questions.
Nah, man.
Because I'm and I get accused a lot of like being in my own bubble and whatnot. But the thing is, in all seriousness, right? When you see something and it's problematic to you, do something about it.
Absolutely.
Don't expect somebody else to do something about something that's problematic to you. Right? Because that's your standard. And don't expect somebody else to have your standard.
Yeah, man.
Unless you're willing to show and lead and be out front and do it first.
Absolutely. Picking that up, man. Man.
That's right now the rave and the crave is that young boy in Minnesota. But the thing is, as we were talking, it's an energy that you have that is what galvanizes people around you.
Yeah, man.
If your energy is positive, your energy is uplifting, your energy is, you can still hold people accountable. Cat, stop motherfucking fouling.
Right. Right.
On national TV, you know what I'm saying?
National TV.
But the way in which he said it, it wasn't demeaning. It was like, okay, I got you.
Right.
Because we need you. I need you to stop fouling because so that level of leadership, that level of energy is what we're trying to cultivate and ask us, all of us, to illuminate in our own circles. That energy of positivity. You can hold somebody accountable without being judgmental.
Yes, sir. The world, or what I just thought about when you were saying that, the world is not changed by your words. The world is changed by your example. But oftentimes people try to cater to words, right? Because the words oftentimes impact the mind. The mind can be convinced, but the heart must be won.
Yep.
You win the heart with your actions, right? The mind can be convinced by what someone says, but the heart must be won. You win somebody's heart with your actions, not by what you say. The world is not changed by what you say. The world is changed by what you do, right? That's when the heart is won. People say stuff all the time. People talk all the time. But when you go back and you look at them actions, that's what impacts a heart. That's when change happens. That's when an individual becomes effective at what they do. Yep. So when he's saying, man, if you see something, just do it. Yep. We'll sit there and talk about it every single day. We'll complain about it every single day. Like, when you gonna do something, right? Like, geniuses got great ideas, but world changers take action.
Yep.
You understand? Take action. Quit talking about it.
Yep.
Do something about it.
It's in terms of healing, the difference between an apology and atonement. The words is an apology. Atonement is the action. Like, you got, the words are very powerful and the words are needed.
Absolutely.
But they got to be followed up by some type of action.
Absolutely.
We can be and complain all day and complain all day and complain all day. Yet at the end of the day, what are you going to do to make it right? What are you going to do to make it better? What are you going to do to restore whatever it is that you got going on? You got dreams, you got aspirations. Wonderful. Those are the words.
Right.
You got prayers. Those are the words, right? But faith without work is what?
Dead.
So it takes a level of work to bring into fruition whatever reality that you want.
It's a fact.
Because if not, then it now you just falling into the perception of the world.
Absolutely.
We're just talking about words.
Mm-hmm.
But your perspective is going to drive your performance. Performance is what? Actions.
It's so dope, man. Like, you know, and you hear us talk about perspective. Man, perspective is so powerful, man. You can have an individual highly talented, highly skilled, highly capable at what they do with the incorrect perspective. You can have an individual that's not as talented, not as skilled, that'll annihilate this individual every day of the week because they have the right perspective about what they're doing.
Yep.
People don't burn out, quit, and shortchange because of what they do. People burn out, quit, and shortchange because life makes them forget why they do it. Perspective, right? And I talk to people, I say often, man, just do me one favor. Like, never allow life to make you forget why you do it. In other words, never allow life to make you forget why you do what you do in terms of your perspective and how you see your work, how you see your people, how you see the things you're trying to accomplish. We was talking about it. Oftentimes, people know what they're against and what they don't like, right? But people get lost when it comes to, okay, I get it. You don't like that. You're against that. Cool. But what you fighting for?
Right.
What you trying to accomplish? Right? Because what you're fighting for is the thing that's going to keep your perspective in alignment. What you're fighting for is the thing that's going to bring you back to center on the tough, the hard, and the rough days. What you're looking at and what you're aspiring to do, like those things, man, are going to come in, like, I'm talking about, it's going to be so important. Just understanding what you're fighting for, that's perspective. Every day you get up, what are you fighting for, man? You can ask an individual, everybody know what they're against and what they don't like, cool, but what you fighting for? Like, I'm fighting to have my family, right? I'm fighting for that, right? That when I get 60, I'm sitting back, my children chilling, I'm with my wife, I'm talking trash, I'm cutting up, you know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for that every single day. I ain't gonna let nothing stop that. I'm fighting for that. I'm fighting to have a healthy relationship with my son. I'm fighting for that. I know it's some things he do that I might be like, I ain't tripping on that. I ain't tripping on that. But what am I fighting for? I'm fighting to have a healthy level of communication with my daughter. It could be some things she can do. It could be some things I might do. But what am I fighting for, man? Like, what are you fighting for every single day, man?
And Ink, I feel you. I really do. Because the thing is, what we're fighting for must be a constant and not a variable.
Teach, Oak, talk about it.
Because the constant is the thing that's going to be there. What's going to be there is you 60, 65, you and Allison sitting on the porch, you talking mess, and the kids come and the grandkids come. Those are constants.
Right.
Variables are situations and circumstances of life.
It is.
So the variables are what you fight against. Your constants are what you fight for.
It is.
Learn to differentiate the two.
Pick it up.
Because you can easily go down the rabbit hole of fighting the variables. And I know people who fight variables and they're constantly unhappy.
Pick that up, man.
If you're fighting the variables of life, you can't find joy. You can't find peace. The peace comes in fighting for the constants in your life, not fighting against the obstacles in your life.
Yeah, man. Teach, Oak.
For sure. Like, so that's why, what's your why is so important. You know what I'm saying? That's why I named the foundation, What's Your Why? That is, I don't know, it was maybe about 4 or 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was like, you know, just going through and thinking, it's like, man, why are you doing this?
Right.
Why?
Yeah, man.
If you can answer your why, then your what, your how, and your who gonna all fall into place.
Yep.
Why are you putting, like sometimes in the morning, bro, it gets hard, especially after we on the last leg of the school year, it gets hard to put your feet on the floor in the morning. You tired of them and they tired of you.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
All aspects.
Yeah.
From the teachers to the administrators to the students to the parents, everybody just tired of each other because we've been under each other for 180 days. Like people don't really understand. Everybody tired.
Everybody tired.
People don't understand that, man. You around 700 people every day.
Every day, dog.
Like think about your life, the folks that you're around. Most of the time, you're not around more than about 20 people.
Right.
But in a school, so by this time, you're just trying to put your feet on the floor like, man. And then you have to literally ask yourself, what's my why?
That's real, man.
And once you answer that, though, that's when your feet get on the floor, you go through your routine, you get up, and you have the best possible perspective you can have going into, your day.
Yeah.
But it has to start with, why am I doing this?
And life gonna bring situations, like you said, life gonna bring stuff to your front door to where it's gonna make you question and ask yourself, what is it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like every time.
And that constant of, it's the constant of my why is, I want to be impactful. I want to be helpful. I want to be like, I understand that being a good person is to help people.
No doubt.
Now, the way in which we do it, right, that can always change.
Right.
But the why, what's my why, is to help people. Like, that's what I'm saying for me.
No doubt.
And what I teach my boys. Like, that's it. If that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Whatever your thing is, don't forget that. That is what's going to propel you. And when those times get hard, when you lose, people transition, and when you go through hard times, it's really literally going to be, what's my why? Who is it that I'm trying to keep becoming every day? What's my relationship to the universe? What's my relationship to whomever I understand God to be? What's my relationship to my ancestors? And establishing that and cultivating those relationships right there on a day-to-day basis. That's your why.
Yes, sir.
And now you're going to give yourself a shot at finding peace and finding joy. Because guess what? You're going to win. Let's be clear on that. I had a conversation with a young cat this morning. You going to win.
Believe that.
The Creator don't make losers.
Teach.
You're going to go through the hardship, yeah. But you would not sit here to be a loser. You know how you know you're going to win?
Hardship.
Because your pop sperm won the race to get to the egg.
Yeah.
So you were born a winner.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. Like, that's literally the fact of the matter. Out of billions and millions, one won the race. And that one that won the race is you. So when you look in the mirror, you already the winner. Now your perspective or your perception is going to determine how you move through life.
Man, bro. I'm picking that up. Oh, man, I want to pivot. Okay, it's so funny, right? Like, I was with the FBI last week.
That's still just tickle me,
man. Tickle you? How you think it made me feel? Man, I'm with the FBI, man. Shout out to the FBI in Atlanta. Amazing experience, man. They took me in the gun vault. They got the tummy gun. I'm talking about, like, it was love, man.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. But I tell you this, so I got a chance to see why when they're involved in situations, their conviction rate is upward of 90%. Because some of the things that they do, when they were showing, teaching, and telling me, the thing that I thought about, it wasn't the task. Even though the task and some of the things that they showed me and told me and was walking me through the facility seemed to be extremely difficult. But the first thing I asked them after they kept showing me certain things in the facility and showing me different things like in how they do this and how they set up, if they're going to get somebody, like all this stuff, I'm listening and I'm like, man, this is like phenomenal. Like, this is some real deal work. I said, but y'all got to have a certain type of person to do this. Like, anybody can't just do this.
I live with one, but anyway.
Yeah. I'm like, I think I live with one too.
You do?
Hey, look, I'm like, man, y'all got to have a certain type of person, man. And he was like, no question. That's why the conviction rate is what it is. We got people that we trust to do their job because everybody is interconnected, right? When we do something, we expect you to do what you do.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we go out in the field and we got a responsibility, lives are on the line, and it can't come back as the blame game. It can't come back as a mistake. When we go to do what we do, it's no question, you gonna handle your business, I'm gonna handle my business. Now, situations pop up, but it's a certain type of individual they look for. I was with a sniper, Oak, and I'm like, man, tell me about some of your shots and this, that, and the third. He was like, man, most of my work ain't even a shot. Like, most of my work is the stalking. It's the work. It's the sitting there. It's not making a mistake in the process of leading up to the shot. He said most of the time, I never even get to the shot because something happens prior to that to where they might fumble, we get them, but I still have to do my process in my work, right? Process more important than the product, the result. The outcome, but it's a certain type of individual, bruh.
Yeah.
The character, So when we speak the character, man, like the nuances of it, like pick that up, man.
I am, and guess who's not?
Yeah.
FBI material. Man, I'd be like, man, come on, man, let's stall this cat out, bruh. Let's
stall him out. Hey, man, throw the joint in there. Let's go get him. You understand?
Right, man.
It's so deep, man. It's like, and he was like, man, when we run in there to get people, he said the times when we don't run in houses, he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the percentage is, when we don't do it and somebody senses something, he said more than every single time when they do that, they're correct. Because on the other side of that wall, when we do get in there, the stuff that they had that could have impacted us, impacted some of our men, was real deal.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you get a cat up there, if he go rogue and like, hey man, forget that. I'm finna go get my man. Boom, he get busy. They start letting off shots, mess up the whole mission.
Right.
Right? I say that to say this, to circle back to people aspire to do all type of things. I was talking to my boy about this earlier. Talking about house, car, this, that. I'm like, man, ain't nothing wrong with none of that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You work hard, treat yourself, do what you do. But it says this, the greatest test may not come from the path we travel to success. The greatest test is what do we do with success once we find it?
Yes.
Right? Ain't nothing wrong with what you aspire to get. Nothing wrong with what you want. But who is it going to turn you into? Because it's going to turn you into somebody, right? Gip from Goody Mob, man, Oak was talking about it prior too. Gip said, man, one of the challenges is, like, we got to treat each other the same way when we find success that we treated each other when we didn't have it.
Yep.
Right? Our greatest test may not come from the path we travel to success. Our greatest test is what do we do with success once we find it?
Yeah. I believe that, Inky, wholeheartedly. You can take out the may part of it.
No doubt.
Because the process, you meant to do it, you've been prepared to do it, you've been preparing to do it. But the part that you can't prepare for is once you get it.
Absolutely. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about, like
That's a fact.
President Obama. Like, remember his hair before he became president and then afterwards?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't prepare for a job that you never had. You can't prepare for a situation that you've never been in.
Yeah, man.
You don't know what it's going to be. So the best thing that you can do is lean on your fundamentals. Like in football or basketball, what are the fundamentals? In life, your fundamentals is your conviction. Your fundamental is your constitution, your countenance, your character, your morals, your beliefs, whatever, the things that you stand on.
Yes, sir.
Right? Regardless, you can stand on them regardless of where you are. So that's your work right now.
Yeah, man.
Whether you have accomplished your mission or your dreams and your goals, you working to do that. You're gonna do that naturally. The work comes in pressing to be the best person you can be.
Yes, indeed.
Meaning pressing your character, pressing your countenance, your conviction, understanding your constitution. All of those things that you can control. That, again, is your perspective. You're walking in your perspective and not your perception.
Picking it up, Doc. Love it, man. Gonna land this plane. Oak, I got a word for you, man. Plan. What comes to mind when you think about plan? The word plan.
I absolutely love the planning aspect, but I'm also I like the aspect of planning and going, and we call it going in the lab, right? When other people are not.
Yeah.
In terms of competition.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you're in the competition of life, what is your plan? What are you planning to do? Not necessarily what you're trying to execute.
Right.
I look at a plan as your foundation.
Yeah.
Because
picking that up.
9 times out of 10, nothing is gonna go like you planned it.
Absolutely.
Situations, circumstances, things are gonna happen like you were talking about with the FBI, something is always going to. So you're not planning for your execution, you're planning for how do you replan, or how do you adjust to your plan? How do you pivot from your plan? How do you, so such that you gotta know your plan so deeply that when something comes up that makes you pivot from that plan, that you still don't get rattled, right?
Yeah,
you're still able to keep your mind. You're still able to keep your wits about you. So that's why planning is so important in terms of, and it's not so much of the detail of the plan, because if you're a detail-oriented person, fine. If you're not a detail-oriented person, fine. What's most important is that in your plan, you know exactly what you want to get accomplished, regardless of situation and circumstance, regardless of the storm, or it may rain, the sun may shine. It doesn't matter. None of those exterior circumstances matter.
Picking that up.
So your planning is always internal. Your planning is always between you and you, always between you and the creator, always between you and the universe. That's what your plan is.
Yeah, man.
Right? The execution of your plan is being able to communicate it, being able to work with whomever it is that you're interconnected with.
Yes, sir.
But each and every last one of those individuals who work for the FBI have their own individual plan.
Believe that.
Because they have their own individual directions. So they must know what their plan is, and being able to step off of it if need be, being able to execute it in a moment, or having the patience. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But the most important part of your plan is you have to know it inside out. You have to live your plan, and you understand that your plan is between you and you.
Picking that up, man. Picking it up, Doc. I love it, man. It says, always plan for the fact that no plan ever goes according to plan.
Right.
Always plan for the fact that no plan ever goes according to plan.
What you talking about, bro?
That's why I says you don't rise to the occasion, you revert back to the level of your training. Your plan, right? Always plan for the fact that no plan ever goes according to plan. That's our time, man. Greatly appreciate your support. Peace.
Serendipity, man. Tune in.